welcome back to the podcast, the Armchair channel, the Armchair Empire. I haven't bottled it. Keep that in. Welcome back to the pod.
Absolutely bottled that.
Have Arsenal,
that was your moment.
No, because this is a good segue. Have Arsenal bottled the league? Also, let me just. It's a joke. But let me just set that up. Funny. There was no plan there. He just left me hang. He hung me out to dry.
What was happening was when we had a bit of like malfunctions when we were setting up the podcast, and I heard him practicing, and he was giving it the big one, like pretending he was on the Athletic podcast, being like, "Hello everyone, welcome back to the Armchair podcast." Like today, and then he was doing that, and I thought, well, I'll just let him intro it off the cuff.
Well, I didn't actually. I was taking the mic.
That was your chance, you know, like in life and in work, where baby, you know, in life, you're just taking over the soundboard now, but you know, in work and life, where you get thrown into the deep end and it's sink or swim, and that was your sink or swim.
Should I just do it again then?
No, it's too late. I'll test you again at any random moment.
Well, you need to next time just say just 2 seconds before Joshua did the intro, rather than just
for me,
start.
I think it's second again for you, and then we'll see how you get on next season.
Right. Well, let's get into the pod because that's enough waffle. We'll start with the natural starting point, I think, for Arsenal fans, which would make sense, and that's Arsenal Sunderland, or I suppose it's Sunderland Arsenal, because we went up to the Stadium of Light and had a tough night.
Yeah, it was tough. It was.
It's embarrassing.
Well, was it? What's your feeling about the game?
No, I actually think Sunderland are going to win the league. No, I genuinely though, that was our hardest game this season. So I want to start off on Sunderland actually, because I don't think a lot of teams, like on these sorts of podcasts in the media, everyone talks about, Arsenal drop points and Liverpool have dropped points, whatever. But like, credit where credit is due. They're a team that has come up from the Championship. Everyone expected them to go down. And that is an absolutely sensational performance. We've played Liverpool at Anfield. Man City have come to the Emirates. And when I was watching that game, I was honestly shitting myself thinking that Sunderland could score a goal here. And they did. They were aggressive. They were one of the only teams this season that sort of coped with our physical presence and actually, fucking pushed us about a bit. They were brilliant at defending set pieces. They cleared everything away. They were a threat at goal, and they never kept going. They never kept pressing. They were just a handful, and the atmosphere was fantastic. So that's why I think they're a fantastic team, and I think for me, I actually think they've got a shot at finishing top 10. And I know Sunderland fans might laugh saying, "We third, mate." But like realistically, you're gonna. I know that was crap. But realistically, you're gonna drop off, obviously. But I don't think you're gonna drop off that badly, because I think you're a fantastic team. And credit to the team and the management there and the board, because you've made some fantastic signings. One of them, obviously, being we know all about him, Xhaka.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Xhaka was influential in the game, but I thought it was a story of both boxes, really. The game. Good saying. Well, yeah, the game. I think they were brilliant in both boxes. Set pieces, defending set pieces. We didn't have our usual night. We were expecting. No. You said to me before the game, well, it's going to be routine kind of thing.
It looked a bit like that.
In terms of we're going to get a set piece goal, but they defended them really well.
Yeah, surprisingly.
We didn't have much joy, I'd say.
And they beat us at our own game. Sorry to interrupt, but like the goals they scored,
were ridiculous.
They hoofed it long.
Yeah,
and our academy centre back just fucking belted it in the top corner. He was insane, by the way.
Ballard,
Man of the match. Yeah,
brilliant.
Ballard was
unreal.
He
was obviously I've not really followed Sunderland the last couple of years, but I do know that he scored in the playoff final. And he was also one of their first scorers this season. He might have been the first, actually. That's really loud. But yeah, I thought he was absolutely monumental today. He looks like a proper player. I think it's sometimes difficult for centre-backs to come up because, I think what you have to do in the Premier League is probably a lot harder. And you're tested by, some of the best attackers in the world. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And what a finish for his goal. So fair play to him. So, man of the match performance from him, yeah.
And then I just want to read the group chat because just to finish on Sunderland, and also their striker, by the way, that goal was unbelievable. I think they had like a 0.5 XG, and that finish was incredible. So before we get into Arsenal and what we did wrong, I just wanted to give credit to Sunderland and what they did right, because I think they played very good, and it was a good game, to be honest. But no, so basically in our FPL group chat, shout out the gals and the lasses in the group chat, and it was really funny because Ambo's a Sunderland fan, and just the chat was going off. I didn't see it at the time when I was watching the game, but like it was so funny. Like she's saying Shaka for Ballon d'Or. I've said it once, I'll say it again. And your dead fans. And then George put respect AFTV. Matt put. By the way, Matt is an absolute troll. Like he's like they'll all be in pubs surrounding the Emirates. Apparently that's where they need the atmosphere. Only conceded Chris Morel, shout Chris Morel, only conceded 3 goals in the league before today as well. Told you Sunderland wasn't going to get battered.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those, because you just said what we did wrong. I mean, what did we do wrong? Where do you think we went wrong? Because I actually think that Sunderland were just class. I don't think we did a lot. There's nothing really glaring for me. Yes, we have controlled the game a bit better, probably. But I do think with the context of the injuries, I think it was going to be difficult in the last. I always felt, and as we saw in the last 20 minutes, was so leggy that they were always going to have chances in that last, because our squad is so depleted.
Yeah,
right now,
I thought it was a fantastic performance from Mud. Actually, I think they obviously had a flurry, and then that one of our Gabriel got a head injury.
Yeah,
but basically, one of our players got injured and it delayed the game quite a bit. So I think that calmed down the atmosphere a bit. And then I think we got into the game, and then that goal came out of nowhere, to be honest. They just hoofed it up. And then I think the response in the second half was fantastic. I think that Saka goal was a clinical finish. I think we actually played some of the best football we've played all season without Gyökeres. We lacked that physical presence up top, but I think overall Mourinho did a decent job up there.
Yeah, I thought
with
it was
his link-up play.
Yeah.
And that Trossard goal, by the way, was absolutely fantastic. We had Zubimendi that hit the bar. We had Eze with a couple of good chances. We had a Saliba.
That was in the first half.
Over the bar, and that was over the first. So basically, we had enough chances to win, right? And we had enough XG and all that. Won the XG battle. Funny as it might sound, but it's true. Like, and they had 2 shots on target and scored twice, which is very rare to do that with an Arsenal team. So I just think,
what's that Frank Lampard meme where he's like first goal, corner, set piece.
We need to get that on
second
the
goal,
soundboard.
Fluke.
Yeah.
Third goal, another fluke.
No, I think there were just 2 exceptional goals, and honestly, I don't think we could have done any more in that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And Finley put, to be fair, injuries give us our actual front 3, just Gyökeres in brackets, and we win. Which I think so, and not even that. Like, it's the fact that we didn't have any subs. There's an argument to be made that Arteta could have made more subs, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that bit of magic from
Broby.
Actually,
I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Then let everyone be saying that's a fantastic performance.
It was a bit of magic, actually, that finish, because I think it's one of those where at the time it looked maybe like a Raya mistake. Maybe Gabriel could have done more. But the way he gets his leg up and manages to connect with the ball and finish that was mental. I at first glance, I didn't actually see what happened. I thought it was one of those where he's just stuck a leg in and it's collided. But his technique was actually sublime. It was almost nearly like an overhead kick, the way he did it. I don't know how, and he really connected with it. So it was quality from him. But that's what I mean. They've signed some, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was also a new signing potentially as well. I mean, I know that half of their team is basically new. And the way they've gelled so quickly and how good they look and how well they've adapted to the Premier League is a real credit to them, because it's not easy to bed that many players in. Forest tried it. In the first season, they did struggle. You look at like teams like even Liverpool now, the big boys, you know, when you bring a lot of players in, it's difficult. So the fact that they've managed to gel so quickly, and going back to what you were saying earlier, part of that and Amber's point, I think obviously is the management, but I think Granit Xhaka is probably playing a huge role in that too.
Yeah, they just look solid and they look up for it. And I think the atmosphere helps, to be honest, at the Stadium of Light. I think it's just a good atmosphere. And every single game, it's like, it does feel like a playoff final game, like every single game at the Stadium of Light. And that's just credit to the atmosphere there, to be honest. It's nice to see we've got some fans of the podcast. Matt said, can't wait to hear 2 Northerners speak about this on a podcast, which is quite nice, because it's nice that people want to hear from 2 Northerners that don't go to games.
Well, to be fair, Matt, though, we're actually from the Midlands, mate. So
yeah, we don't really.
We're not actually Northern.
And to be honest, we don't really
straight.
listen to Southerners either.
No.
That's also a thing on this podcast. We don't really listen to them because, Yeah, just horrible.
Because Gary
people.
Neville's Northern,
just
and
scum.
that's where we get our opinions.
Yeah. But no, like in terms of Arsenal, if we want to delve more into that, and do our ball knowledge analysis, this is what people tune in for.
Yeah,
I think there wasn't enough space. No, I'm joking. I just thought it was one of them days, and it's like we played as good as we could, and I think overall we could not really done anything more apart from maybe Arteta could have brought on some more subs. But then if you bring on White or I can't pronounce his name, Hinakpe.
Hincapié. You always, every time you say it, then I think it's Hincapié. It's Hincapié.
But like, do you know what I mean? Or Nanweri, you risk just...
Well, I thought...
You risk the structure. And I think we had... look, Declan Rice and a couple of players looked knackered, but we just didn't have the bench.
Right, let's... Yeah.
I think Martinelli... If Martinelli was there and Madueke or whatever, Gyökeres on a different day, I think we would have won that game and we would have seen it out. So I'm not worried about that performance.
No.
I just think Sunderland took advantage of the fact that we looked...
Yeah.
A bit shaky.
I think, to be honest, going back to your point, I don't think we were that shaky. Obviously, Theo Walcott said something like it's the most our defence has been rattled. I mean, I think that's more. I wouldn't say rattled is the right word. I think it was more like tested.
Yeah,
I think that they were just really physical, really good, long throws and things like that. It was a bit of a taste for our medicine. They were quality. Their physicality is the best we've probably seen, other than Newcastle is similar. Sorry, Sunderland fans won't like that comparison, but the way they are physical. But what I was gonna say is it's a shame for me, obviously the result, but I think our attacking, our actual play was so good and special kind of. This is why I'm disappointed as well, because I wanted to give Trossard his flowers, really.
Yeah.
In this podcast, if we won, it would have been a very different podcast, and we would have been talking about how Trossard is,
Or Jota.
As basically pulled out, like continues to pull rabbits out the hat, really.
Yeah, I would compare him to Jota, and I've said this multiple times in the past, but I don't think he gets... I think he is what Jota was to Liverpool. Is that player that goes under the radar, and then once he finishes his career at Arsenal, or, once he moves on to another club, you'll be like, wow, what a player he was. Like, he always delivers. He might not be the most...
sexy, to be honest. Like, he's not a sexy name,
he
though,
is quite sexy.
He's not, like, he wasn't.
He's not a name. I think the problem
is
he's not a name.
It's not a
so
sexy
in
name.
Liverpool, you've got Salah, you have these names, and the players stand out. They might stand out for the wrong reasons or the right reasons.
Well,
he goes under the
I would
radar.
say
He
even
tends to do
Arsenal
all the
fans,
right
though.
things. And the thing is, he hasn't got a lot of pace. He's got a bit of trickery, but he's not. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He just does his
But what
job, and
do you-
he scores the screamer, the odd screamer.
But I think it's Arsenal fans ourselves.
Oh yeah,
that-
ungrateful.
Well, not that. I would just say there's something in the fan base which is like, because of maybe how he was. There's been a lot of discussion about this, but maybe because of how he was signed, we thought we were going to get someone like a bit more of a flair, someone a bit more younger, exciting, like Mudryk. Thank God we didn't get him in the end.
Oh, yeah.
But we probably thought we would get someone like that.
Yeah.
And we got Trossard, who is kind of a bit more boring in comparison.
You know
and
what?
It was only
Anyone that plays
27
on
million.
anyone that plays on that left wing, he's got a curse because they're always going to be compared to Saka, and it's the same with Liverpool. They're always going to be compared to Salah. The left wing spot in a team. It's the same with Real Madrid, and you got Vinicius or Mbappe. Like that left wing spot is cursed. So I think no matter who we bring in, they're not going to be as good as Saka. Saka is one of the best players in the league.
I don't think it's that.
It's a bit. Do you not think it's a bit of that? Piss off then.
I would say really it's more.
What is it then? Because if he was as good as Saka, it wouldn't be a conversation, would it?
I think for Martinelly, that's more important. Like for
like
that,
Mane
and they were
Salah,
both as
they were
respected
both
as each other.
equal.
So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
theory.
exactly. No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Mane was as good as Salah last couple
And they were
of
both
seasons.
respected as each other.
Yeah, but Trossard isn't as good as Saka, is he? But he's still a phenomenal player.
Yeah, that's our issue. Like what I'm saying is,
Yeah, so shut up then.
Martinelli, I think, falls into that bracket because Saka and Martinelli came through at the same time.
Yeah,
I think it's more of a Martinelli problem. I don't think anyone expected when we signed Trossard for him to be as good as Saka.
No,
I think.
true.
But based on the expectations of what we did have, I think he deserves probably more praise than he gets. And that finish was unbelievable, and it probably deserved to be a match-winning goal. But
Are we going to shut up about Trossard now? Because, to be honest, that
go on,
strike
then.
was...
Unbelievable!
But at the end of the day, let's move on. Overall, are we...
Oh, not another sound.
No.
Fucking hell.
Are we shitting ourselves?
Not really, no.
Because let's talk about Man City versus Liverpool, which has just finished. That was the last game of the Premier League. And Liverpool got absolutely embarrassed. And they had a mini crisis, what you would say a mini crisis. And then they won against Real Madrid, won against Villa, and now
This moment in time.
they are having a full-blown crisis, in my opinion. I said it the other week, they're out of the title race. They are definitely now finished.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Very sensationalist headline there. But yeah, I mean,
Do you not agree?
Well, yeah, I mean, we said it on the last podcast, to be
crap.
fair. We got a comment saying, oh, it's 10 games in, mate, from someone on the TikTok. But we said at the time, the problems were deeper than the crisis that they've just... The crisis was not just those 4 losses that they had. The crisis is much deeper than that. It's their squad, the way it's built, it's slots, weird choices, and it's the fact that their attack, it just isn't gelling. Salah doesn't look as good. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of like problems.
To get on to the game, Liverpool looked dross. They looked like they went there to Slot in his post-match interview. I watched the interview. I usually don't, but they were asking him questions, and he was like, "Yeah, I've watched. They said, did you watch the Arsenal game?" And he says, "Oh, not really, because I've just been like analysing Man City. I probably watched Man City games like 25 times. Well, obviously not bloody closely enough, because you were absolutely crap in the first half, and you literally parked the bus. It was disgraceful. You spent you've spent over 400. No, not put the bus, but they did really. They were quite. You could tell they were playing for a draw. I'm sorry, any Liverpool, I'd be fuming.
I don't think that's true.
Oh my god! In the first half, they were playing for a draw.
They were just not very good. I just don't think they were very good.
Yeah, but they've spent 400 million in attacking talent, and honestly, like, you could not tell. I know they didn't have Isak on the pitch, but I actually think Wirtz played okay today, and I think that's because Man City's midfield isn't very physical. And I think he's been bullied a bit. I know I hate to go into the stereotype of it, players have to adjust to this league in terms of physicality, but partly it is true, because you look at Sunderland and Newcastle and those teams, they do push her around a bit, even Arsenal now. I think that Man City midfield is quite light. And I think Wirtz was given a bit more time. It was less physical. So I think he actually played well. I think Szoboszlai had a good game. I think some of the players had a good game.
I thought, but
I genuinely think that they were just poor, weren't they? They were really poor.
I think they lacked threat.
Didn't look up for
they
it.
lacked a massive threat. Like, they didn't really make any chances.
Poor performance.
And that was more of their attack. I mean, there's been a bit of discussion from Liverpool fans about this Wirtz thing, because he played on the left again, and he played there against Real Madrid, and he looked better. The midfield looked a lot more balanced, and they put in a really good performance against Real Madrid. I think people thought that maybe that's a formula that could work in this game. It just didn't. And I suppose the question from that is this because Liverpool were particularly bad on this day, or is the more worrying point that City were just really good?
Before we get on to whether you think City are good again, just on Liverpool, like, where do you think, can they recover? Like, where do you think they go from here? Like, do you think this is just a fluke? Because to be fair, the 2 goals that they conceded, the first 2 were a bit fluky.
They didn't do.
But they were dominated,
much.
weren't they?
Yeah, they didn't do much all game.
So how the hell do they solve this? Because it has got to the point now where it is a bit for slot. It's looking a bit peak. Like, they are fighting for top 4 now. Like, they're not in a title race. I know it's not the end of the world, because it's a rebuild, but it doesn't look like he's building anything. It looks like they've got worse.
To be honest, I guess if you're a Liverpool fan, what I would say is I do think you're probably out of the title race, just because I don't think you can lose 5 games this early, and unless you have some incredible turnaround,
No, it's not happening.
I don't really see that happening. What I would say is that things can change in football, and the team I'm really thinking about, to be honest, is probably PSG last season. They did start the season pretty poorly. I remember when Arsenal played them at the Emirates quite early on, and PSG looked really average. And then they put together a run of form that led them to a run that eventually, cracked on to a Champions League. And no one would have said that at the start of the season. So what I would say to Liverpool fans is that I think now, my opinion is, I think now they probably are out of the title race, just because of how good Arsenal, if you let me finish, just because of how good Arsenal and City are looking.
Baby.
Sorry, this bloke off the podcast went, I need to stop cutting, let you speak. You let Fuad speak.
Yeah, he's got more respect. He's respected.
This bloke don't let me speak.
He's a respected.
Let me speak. Let me talk. We need that. Let me talk. Let me talk. Anyway, I'm just saying, sorry, I'm under a time. There should be a timer on the board as well. I get 30 seconds before Jacob wants to come back in.
People are waiting for me to speak.
Basically, I think you could still do well towards the end of the season. I probably think you are at the Premier League. But you
Sorry,
could do
the
well in the
reason I
Champions
interrupt
League.
you because you keep talking about a title race, and in my opinion, like I think they need to forget.
Well, I've just said that.
Forget about that.
I just said that.
Yeah.
I was talking about the Champions League
I'm
and the FA Cup.
I'm more concerned about the future because I just look at the amount of, and this has been said before, but I look at the amount of money they've spent on the attack. But honestly, you look at, no, but come on, Josh, you look at Robertson today and you look at Conor Bradley.
Yeah.
And you look at the age of Van Dijk in terms of, I know he's still a great centre-back, he's world class, but like he is going to decline, like he's not going to get better.
Well, yeah, I know that, yeah.
And I just think it's a bit of a disaster because they will need to spend money, and they obviously have a bit of money, but they will need to spend money in the summer and in January on the defence because it sucks.
Well, yeah. I
The
mean, at the end of the
league
day,
goals, like, no
the
one's
start of the season,
business.
no one was really saying this other than me. I said,
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, go back. I was watching the clips earlier. I said, Liverpool, their defensive strength is dreadful. If they got one Van Dijk injury, they'd be ruined. Turns out they don't even need a Van Dijk injury to be ruined.
They are ruined.
They're finished. But I was just going to say, the things change very quickly. They could stumble upon something, at some point that works.
I'm sure they will. Look,
they
will. I'm not saying like.
Well, you're
they're
saying they're an absolute finished institution that won't get top four.
No, I didn't say they won't get top four.
Is there a worry though?
That's
Is there a worry? Is there a worry?
ridiculous. Of course, there's a worry at the minute.
So what do you think? Where do you think they'll finish?
No, I think they'll finish top four. But what I'm saying, there's a doubt that they won't finish top four because you look at. It's funny, Spurs and Chelsea are shit, but you look at Spurs and Chelsea. And Villa now that are getting into four, and I just think, and United, you just think, well,
United,
they could drop out the top four. I'm just saying they will probably. Let's be honest, they will finish top four, Liverpool, this season, but they've lost 5 games already. It's not looking good. They just got battered. So it's not like they lost by a couple of goals. They got battered.
I think what's worrying, is that I think they thought the rot had stopped, but the rot is deep.
Continued.
There's a deep rot.
People are thinking, we just had a bad result, and Van Dijk just got everyone in a huddle and went, "This stops today." And then they won Real Madrid and Villa, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." Got battered. So, reality check for Liverpool fans. Kind of feel sorry for them. Kind of wanted them to win this game because it would have been better for us if they won. And also, it would have made things more interesting. I'd rather a 3-horse race than a 2-horse race because, to be quite honest, I am scared of Manchester City. And I'll say it because they are a different beast. They've won loads of league titles. Pep Guardiola is a fantastic manager. And I know our squad is better, but we have a habit of doing something consistently. And that is finishing second. So what do you think? Do you think Man City can seriously mount a title charge now? Because at the start of the season, everyone was like, I don't think City are really strong enough this year. What are you saying now, Josh? Are you scared?
Well, I put Man City between... Anyway, I didn't know where they would finish. I thought they would get top 4. That's what I thought at the start of the season. I still think that their team... I don't know what to think about City, to be honest. I actually watch them sometimes and I think they're not that good. Like, they're just not the team that they were 3 seasons ago.
Understood.
Right?
But
so
do you think they're good enough
to
take us to the wire?
I think they'll be there or thereabouts because of Haaland and because of Donnarumma and moments. And they still have great other players. Like Doku today was the best player on the pitch by far.
Really good.
So
he's a handful.
And with Pep, obviously I'm respecting respect to Pep in the sense that, he's done it. I just don't think that they are the same City team. And I kind of agree with what Gary Neville, and I'm not trying to be overconfident, but I do agree with what Gary Neville said. It is ours to win. It doesn't mean it's ours to lose, whatever that fucking means. But what it means is we can win it if we want to. I think we are good enough to win it. If we fail, i.e. if we're, for whatever reason, we just come short again, City will win it. I don't see anyone else really in that conversation now, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit scared, to be honest. And I think the reason I'm scared because it's not logic anymore. It comes from a deep-rooted place of PTSD with watching us get so close 3 times in a row. And for whatever reason, whether it be refereeing decisions, whether it be injuries, whether it's we bottled it, it's a mentality thing, and we haven't got over the line.
Or just City being
and
an
for
absolute,
me,
like,
I've just and it just scares me because I just think this City machine or whatever it is, I know they've been they're not the City team of before, but they have got a habit of just winning.
Yeah.
And it does scare me a bit. But if you look at it logically, I think they're playing a Liverpool team that are a bit, let's be honest, not great at the minute. And I think once the dust settles and the international break is over, we'll probably look at this and go, they're still 4 points behind. We still look by far the best team in the league. City have looked pretty average so far. I'm not going to lie, and I think we'll be okay.
I think
I don't even think, looking at it logically, they will even challenge. Like, I think honestly, this year it could be a boring Premier League in terms of the title race, because I think by like March time, I think we'll be too far clear, and I think it'll be like Liverpool last year.
How I look at it is we've over the last couple of weeks have performed and actually a bit longer, really at. It's in terms of the squad. Sometimes, like Sunderland, that was like 50%. We were so depleted, and we still managed to grind out these results and play pretty well. I don't think City, in fairness, probably might not have hit full gear. Foden could go to another level. Doku, if he keeps at that kind of performance today.
I don't think they've got the squad for it.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think once we get our squad back fully, we could hit another level. And I think if we do, they'll be more scared. What I would also say is, it's similar to the point I made about Liverpool and Van Dijk. Haaland is just so important for City. So even if he's out for 2, 3, 4 weeks, which on average he might be over the season, they are in trouble because they're so reliant on him. Even today, that first goal, obviously the penalty as well, which he missed, but that first goal, his presence alone, he like fucking auraed the ball into the net.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, mate, I don't even know what happened.
The reason I'm scared is because the reason I'm worried about that Sunderland result, not worried, but why I think it was critical that we got the 3 points is because I think because we've never done it before, all it will take for us to bottle it, and I genuinely think this, is that if City are there or thereabouts, and I mean 3 to 6 points, I know there's this thing of like, we've been there before, we can do it. We actually haven't crossed that finish line.
Yeah.
I don't think we can afford, this is just my personal opinion, you might just be like, Jake, you chatting shit. I don't think we can afford for City to be 3 to 4 points behind come April. I think we need to be 6, 8 points clear to win it. That's just my opinion.
Well,
because I think we'll bottle it if not.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I think we've got different players. I think we are a different team to what we were if you're comparing it to the team 3 seasons ago. We're very different. We've got more experience. We've been there before. Remember, those 2 times were our first time. They were our first time. The first season we did it, no one expected us to be there. We were wanting top 4. The season before, we finished 5th. No one thought we would do that.
I thought you told me we bottled it, though, those seasons.
We did a bit.
You told me we bottled it.
Because we hadn't been there before. That's the point I'm making.
We still bottled it, didn't we? Leicester didn't. They still won it.
Right. Well, I've just said, I don't know why he's arguing with me. No one expected it to be there. We weren't expected to be there. So, yes, that leans to the idea that we did bottle it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Second season, again, this is the first time the expectation is now we're going. And to be honest, we did a pretty good job. And then last season, injuries.
To me, I think what gives me confidence is the players, not only the players coming back, but the new players that we got.
Yeah, and that's
Gyökeres hasn't experienced a title race before. He'll be hungry. He's deluded. He'll probably
looks hungry.
He's a big lad. He'll probably think that he can still catch up with Haaland. He won't, but he probably in his head thinks, I'll try and win the Golden Boot. He's not, but he probably thinks that. He's hungry. Madueke will want to come in and prove a point. Havertz will definitely want to come back. Yeah. Havertz will definitely want to come back and prove a point. He will, though. So I'm confident, and Ødegaard will be sick of being a serial loser that's left Real Madrid and won nothing. So I think, yes, it'll be fine. But I'm just a bit scared because...
It can.
Anyway, let's move on.
I'm not done, actually. I was going to talk more. No, I'm joking. Okay. Let's move on.
All right.
No, sorry. Jacob decides.
This moment in time.
I would say... I was just going to say, though, that at this moment in time, let's talk about Chelsea. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, go on then.
I didn't watch this game because I was sick of watching Chelsea.
That's great.
To be honest, I think they're
disappointing.
Pretty irrelevant in terms of the title debate.
Drew against Carrier Bag, didn't they?
It's just because we had We had Vibe Sport on the podcast last week.
Shout
and I
out
had
to,
to
by the way,
listen to
shout
it.
out to Viper Sport again. I know he doesn't even listen to the podcast all the way through because he's too busy.
I wouldn't.
So he won't even hear this. So he can literally say, I actually think Viper Sport's a fraud. And I think he's just an absolute idiot. And
We
I
could
don't
say
I don't
that.
like him.
We'll see.
I don't
This
like
is
him.
the test.
The only
What-
reason I got him on the podcast is for clout. Like I don't even like him.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So this is the litmus test. If you do listen to this Viper, you'll be like, oh, what? That's shady, bro. But this is the test to see if you listen. I don't actually mean that, but it's quite funny.
We have to test
It's quite
him.
funny that you could say anything about him halfway through his podcast and he wouldn't even know because he doesn't listen to it.
Well, we'll just clip it up.
Yeah, you'll clip it up.
Yeah, I'll
You'll
go.
clip it up. And
yeah,
just
if I can
that
learn
bit,
to
by
edit,
the
I'll
way,
do anything.
just that bit. And by the way, if we were a big podcast, what's funny is that would get clipped up and it would start beef, but that's how you get views. And I kind of want that to happen. So if anyone...
No one's doing that.
Come on, someone has to do it. But someone in our group chat might do it. Ben Sharp might do it just for hate, just try and cause hate.
Right.
Then he'll have to listen to the full podcast.
Chelsea won 3-0 against Wolves. But
Yeah.
Wolves are crap. And Chelsea...
So that's your assessment of it, that Wolves are crap.
well, yeah.
And Chelsea are also crap.
Chelsea are right, aren't they? They're all right. I think they'll get top four.
Chelsea are
That's where I
all
put-
right. And that's it.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question for you. Are Man United better than Chelsea?
No. No. What a ridiculous question.
I don't know, because they look good, Man
Fucking
United.
dishwasher.
So United drew 2-2 with
Tottenham.
So, and that was a fantastic game, by the way.
But we're a Tottenham. This is the thing, right? So
I think
actually,
Man
I
United
think there's a
played
conversation. I
Man
think
United
this is a
played
good.
really well.
This is a good thing, right? So we can talk about
Chelsea,
these
Tottenham,
teams.
and United.
Yeah.
Those three are in the circle of what I call...
Yeah, but the table right now.
We don't know.
The table right now is. I
don't know what they
I
are.
didn't want to look
It's
after we
interesting, isn't it?
after we drew. But
You
it's
don't look at the table after we drop
I don't
points.
look.
That's
Yeah,
so
when we
funny.
drop points, don't look. But if we've won, I'll have a look. So between Everton and Chelsea, Everton are in 13th, and Chelsea are in 3rd. There are 5 points.
Bloody hell, it's like the championship.
5 points.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
So it's so
You
hard
can't
to
really
know.
say anyone is. You don't know who is good or
Liverpool
not.
are 8th. I mean,
That is insane.
United are above them. I mean, it's.
I'm sorry. If you are
What
a
is
Liverpool
going
fan,
on?
this is what I'm saying. You are
Your head
having
would be on
No,
Mars.
you're having a meltdown because that is not acceptable.
But it's not. No one. This is a proof, right? The mid table. If you look at the mid table right now, no offense, Sunderland fans, Amber or whatnot. No offense, Tottenham fans. You're not finishing that high.
No offence to Tottenham
actually,
fans.
offense. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
What the hell are you on
maybe
about?
Maybe the villains.
No offense to Flav, but the rest of them. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, or
I love Flav.
Darrell. Darrell's a nice lad.
So good.
But what I would say is, it's hard to know. It's hard to know where the fuck how good anyone
Yeah,
is.
but the whole
because-
point of a podcast, Josh, is for us to guess, and then people go,
No,
agree or disagree.
my.
So should we just
Well,
end
you
the
wanna guess?
podcast?
No. I'm
All
saying.
right, everyone, thanks for listening to the Armchair podcast. We'll
Right.
see you again next week.
No. I'm saying it's hard to know. I will tell you what I think, but looking at the table doesn't help, does it? Because
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but you brought up the table. What I'm saying is, do you actually think who's better? Who's better? United, Chelsea, or Spurs?
Chelsea, Spurs,
Are the best out of
United.
those? Really? So you
Yes.
think Spurs better than United?
And let me
'Cause
just
I don't
caveat
know.
with that.
Okay.
Let me just caveat with that. So I think there's a group. What I think it is, to be honest, what I think it is I think it's Arsenal. What it was at the start of the season for me was Arsenal, City, and Liverpool is kind of like that elite. I think Liverpool, because of their start, I still
not
think they're
elite
better
now.
than Chelsea, but they're probably going into a bracket with Chelsea now in terms of that quality,
Yeah.
right? They're probably Chelsea and Liverpool are in that similar part where they're not quite as good as City or Arsenal, but they're going to be probably top 4. Then you have this absolute. These teams I just don't rate whatsoever. Tottenham, United. I mean, how are Newcastle 14th?
Because that's how close it
It's
is.
just-
You've got a good point. I don't
It's-
think
it's-
we can't really tell at the
You
minute.
can't. Yeah.
You can't. And I think it's a testament to how strong the league is this year. I think it's ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
Like I think every team, like you look at every team apart from Arsenal and City, and they're all, and even like you see from Sunderland against us, like any team there could take points off us or City.
Yeah.
And they're all playing against each other, and they're all good. Crystal Palace are 10th. Crystal Palace are a fantastic team. They're
Good
10th.
outfit. And so Brighton. And so Brentford. I mean,
Yeah.
Brentford.
Got decimated.
No,
in
no,
summer.
no. Well, yeah, and also Brentford just beat Newcastle 3-1.
For me, the fact that Newcastle are 14th just shows you how strong. And I know they've been decimated in the summer as well.
But it's so weird.
Jesus
Like one of the
Christ.
results this weekend, which was so weird to me, was now like you had Villa batter Bournemouth 4-0.
Yeah.
It's such
Well,
a weird.
Villa beat City
I know, and it's such a weird Premier League to.
and they lost to Liverpool.
Yeah,
So
it's random.
Yeah, it is.
I
But,
genuinely
this
don't
is
know.
why we've been the only consistent team in the league this season. We have.
Yeah,
It's a fact.
Well, we have so far. We seem like the most consistent.
I think we are.
I think we are. Well, yeah, I guess we are. But it's so early. 11 games is such a small sample size. What's interesting though is that I'd be interested in your take on this because
I will give you a take on
disregarding everything we've just said, I was listening to who Jacob was actually hating before the podcast, an athletic podcast.
Oh, not the Athletic.
The TIFO stuff. And they were saying actually, after 11 games, the average is that a team only moves up, on average, one space up or one space down. So what you're seeing right now, Sunderland fans, you'll like this, on average, they're obviously outliers, teams will only move about one space up or down.
What,
from
for
these.
the rest of the season?
Yes.
That's-
on average. Watch the video, it's really interesting.
crazy.
But they say that other than you had, they had a couple of outliers from last season. I think Tottenham was one because they dropped all the way down to 17. They went on a terrible run
Wait,
of
this
form.
is so interesting. So
Forest, they did it. So Forest were after X amount of games, 4th or 5th. They dropped down to 7th at the end. But
what I'm saying is, you're saying to me then, because Liverpool technically have to get, well, it's a fact, they have to get top 4, they need to go from 8th to 4th. That's
Yeah.
not 2 places, that's 4 places. So
Yeah.
you telling me that they're only going to go to max 5th? Or,
What I'm saying is they could, but my point is that the way the table is shaped generally, right? It's not like you could pick one team and anything could happen because, you know, I was going to make a terrible joke. Anything could happen, but
It can.
but you could pick one team. So like Sunderland's a good example, right? Sunderland in theory could drop to like 13th, but the point is that these teams above them, the complexion is the same, right? So like the idea, the relegation zone, for example, it's going to look like those 5 teams, right?
yeah.
The top 5,
The top 5 is
Probably-
not going to like that.
well-
it can't. The top 5 at the minute is Arsenal, City, and Chelsea. I think they'll be the top 3.
right? So it will look quite similar.
Yeah, but Sunderland, Tottenham,
just
Villa,
don't listen to what he's just said.
Sunderland, Tottenham, Villa, United, Liverpool,
Yeah.
Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace. That could
Right.
go fucking any
Okay,
direction, in
well,
my opinion.
I
they're
think-
the teams. Even Newcastle could get a fight back into the
Well,
top 6.
do you think Tottenham are going to be in and around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Villa will.
So Tottenham's
So-
super interesting for
Yeah.
me because they have played some dog shit, terrible football, especially at home. Like awful,
Oh my God, it's
awful football team.
Awful.
But they're actually not losing that many points. And yeah, so that's my point. I just think Thomas Frank is a solid manager, and this is what I was saying. I just think I think he'll come good, and I think Spurs fans are being really ungrateful because you did have Ange Postecoglou,
It's just who we are, mate.
and honestly, who you are now is crap, but I think who you are in the future could be good. I think he's a fantastic manager. If he's done what he did with Brentford, he's going to take
because
you.
James Carragher made a point.
Oh, here we go. Who listens to him?
Well, he was talking about Keir Starmer as well. Fucking hell.
God.
But James was saying that what happened is Thomas Frank, this is his theory, so it'll be interesting to talk about this. Thomas Frank, because he's come from the little boys, because they say the big boys, so I'm going to say the little boys of Brentford, and he's gone to a big boy. I think he is used to little boys, and now he's gone to big boys.
That
and I
sounds
think
weird.
I think that change is hard.
Yeah, no, it is hard.
And I think he's struggling because he's used to being pragmatic.
Yeah, we've got actually an outside take on this.
Yeah, coming from me, I was actually a small boy, and it was a lot harder to go from a small boy to a big boy.
So there we go. That was just a take from unknown.
But no,
caller there.
would you actually think though, like because he's gone from a team that defends and a team that's usually on the back foot, that it's going to be hard for him to
No,
play?
I agree,
Yeah.
and I think that's why they're playing dross football. But
So why do you think that they'll be
I
good?
think what's happening is he's creating a structure here. He's like Arteta. He's creating like a defensive. He's creating a solidity.
process.
He's creating trust the process. He's creating a solid structure, like a base from how they play out. Because they actually play out pretty well from the
Well,
back.
and also you had to go from
and then I think the rest will come. Like we played that awful horseshoe football. Dreadful it was. But I think he's just building a very solid foundation. So I think over the course of the season, I think they will finish top 6 just because they won't lose many games. They won't lose many games. I think their games will be tight, but I think it will be boring. But there's that risk, isn't there? You know, when they had Conte and that was boring, and they had Nuno and that was a bit boring. So there's a risk there because for some reason Spurs have got this expectation that they need to play exciting football, which I don't know where they've got this thing from. Like they've always played
because
exciting.
they always have. But
you've always not won nothing apart
months.
from Ange when he played shit football. He did play exciting, but I think you just need to accept this new. Just look at it. It's
just
new.
fucking
it's
sure,
new. Just shut the
basically.
fuck up. Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Actually, that's a great point. Why the fuck are you booing? Because
No idea.
You were shit last season.
Crap.
And the only reason you won a trophy is because you had United in the final.
Yeah, and they're crap.
They were shit.
Yeah,
So,
so you should
if you're a
shut
Tottenham fan
up,
booing
shut
Thomas
your
Frank,
mouth.
I
Trust
don't-
the process.
Yeah, just get on with it. What was the
would be class,
alternative?
it'd be class if Thomas Frank got sacked because you booed him that much.
Also,
so it's
hold
your
on.
fault, and then they brought in some crap manager.
Tottenham
like
fans
Ange
as
again.
well. Where do you think you were going to finish? What is the expect? I'm actually confused.
I don't know what
it's
the
like West
expectation
Ham.
is.
What are the expectations? of
I
that
think
club?
the reason is just to stick up for. I don't want to stick up
Why?
for Tottenham fans. What I'm saying is, I think it's disgraceful that they're booing because they shouldn't be booing because number one, you're a crap club, but number two, you're being ungrateful. It's a process, and I agree. Where the hell? What you expected to play exhilarating football, and and be challenging for the top 4? Chelsea, you lost to Chelsea. They're better than you. They've had a manager for longer than you. They've got better players than you. Your players are dross.
Well, the midfield is really light.
You haven't got on it. So
Well,
how
they've got
can you play good
Simmons.
football if you haven't? He plays on the
Madison's
wing.
injured.
Yeah, Madison's injured. He's not even that good. You need to
Madison's
invest money
crap.
in that squad. To be fair to Spurs, fans,
Madison's
right,
better in the
they
stands of
lost
Angry
out on
Ginge
Morgan
making
Gibbs.
YouTube videos.
If they got Eze, there would be a totally different outfit. So if they had Eze and Cam
I actually think with Eze they would have been
way better.
Well, no,
Way
Eze
better.
doesn't really make much. He
He does. He would have made a
but
difference,
anyway,
man.
The point is, Tottenham, they've had Beyonce at the stadium, and now they think that they're going to be fucking winning titles. That's not how it works. You're a top 6 club at best, and I think there needs to be a reckoning at that. They need to know that it's not going to get better than that.
Just
Deal with it.
Uh,
Like, seriously. Because I have more faith in United winning a title quicker than them.
So let's talk about United then. I've been quite pleasantly surprised because they're it's a bit of an underdog story now because they've been that bad. They've actually had a worse banter era than us, which is hard to beat. Really, losing to Grimsby was the pinnacle of where it was just hilarious. But they've. What do you think? Do you think Amorim is like actually a decent manager and like everyone was just shitting on him for no reason, or do you think they've just had a bit? Do you think the rest of the league's a bit bad and they've took advantage, or what's going on there? Because I don't actually know. I don't know if they're actually good or what. I can't tell. I don't know.
Well, with United, I think they're better than last season. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's not
I
hard, is
think
it?
their attackers have been good. And this is actually another example of your terrible ball knowledge. Jacob said that at the start of the season, and he got some stick for it, rightly so. He said, the attacking signings they've made are not game changers.
Right, Cunha's been average, in my opinion, and the only
Ignored
good
Mbeumo, who's the
one,
best player.
and Sesko, the only good attacker they have got at the minute is Mbeumo. Ahmad's
And
better
he's been
than,
unbelievable.
He's been
to be fair.
he's been
he has been good.
He's not
For
been
that,
unbelievable.
He has been
but
good.
He's been good. But what I'm saying is, what I meant in terms of their attackers aren't game changers. In terms of back in the day, United signed Ronaldo. That's a game changer.
Oh my
Van
God.
Persie. No, listen to
For
me.
fuck's sake, though. You're listing world-class players. He's listing, oh, yeah. Back in the day, they had the best player ever.
What I'm saying is they should have invested their money in the midfield and in the
we
defence.
should have bought fucking
instead
Ronaldo
of
and
in the attack.
Mbappe.
And Liverpool have made the same mistake.
No, this is not true.
It is true.
This guy's got no ball knowledge. The United attack was crap. They had fucking Shido Bob Xerxes up front with Højlund, who's that bloke that was making the fucking songs.
No, they've improved, but they shouldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't need Cunha. They did not need Cunha. I think buy one of Mbeumo and Cunha, and I'd be like, yeah, fizz, and then buy a
it's a project,
midfielder.
though, isn't it? Because basically, I'm not even taking the piss. I think United are a couple of signs away from being a decent outfit. what I would say about your point about Amorim, it's very hard to know how good a manager he is because kind of the Gyökeres effect, the Portuguese league is difficult. I don't know if he's good or not. What I would say is it's pretty clear. I think the players respect him. I think they're fighting for the badge. I think they're fighting for him. De Ligt, Maguire, that back. I think they're determined to fight for him. I think Fernandes has been quality actually.
He always is,
and the new signs are good. So I think there's a spirit there, and I think that's something because for a while they have had a lot of shit, particularly players like Maguire, De Ligt, a lot of them about they don't fight and they don't want it and they don't back the managers and they don't, all this crap that he's lost the dressing room and all this stuff. I actually think they're trying. I just don't. Yeah, there's a limit. There's a cap on how good they are, isn't there?
I think it helps that they only play once a week as well because like every single game they play is like a cup final. But yeah, I've been like I say, I think.
So are you going to admit that you're wrong about these game changers? Then?
Nah,
no,
they're not game changers.
So explain it one more time.
Until Sesko and Cunha gets 10 goals each. Then for me, they're not game changers. How are they game changers if they're not even getting? Like,
you're ignoring Mbeumo again.
Right.
Admit he is a game changer.
I admit that he's a game changer then.
Right.
Fucking hell, you happy now. But the other two aren't. They've been crap.
I think Cunha's been decent.
Yeah,
and I
he's
think
not a game changer.
Sesko.
He's not a game changer.
It's
not a game changer.
Sesko's not looking good, but he can jump high. He can jump really high. So
right.
They've won that medal. Gyökeres can't jump as high as him, to be fair. He can't.
There you go.
Right.
Anyway, we're going to go to for the last few minutes of the podcast, 10 minutes or something. We're going to go. Where are you going?
I'm leaving.
All right, see you in a bit. We're going to go for the TikTok comments because I recently did a sketch on the TikTok and it performed quite well and we got a lot of comments and some of them were quite funny. Charlie commented, if Arsenal win the league this season, is it the worst Premier League win ever? That is 100% rage bait. I'm not even going to answer that, but I just thought it was quite funny to read it out.
I'm not, well... to answer this question, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. What else have we got here? Yeah, apparently Arteta wakes up at 5:30 every morning. Just want to get your take on that, to be honest.
Do you want my take on that?
Yeah.
So do you, don't you? To edit this podcast?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So... there you go. Those are fucking standards. Fucking hell, these comments are good.
It's actually hilarious. Liverpool beat Arsenal with a set piece.
Oh, that is so hilarious. Well, do you want to actually let's going off that comment, but I'm just completely hijacking it because you're not finding
keep going
many.
then.
But let's reflect on at the time, right? I was really angry about that Anfield result when we lost 1-0. And because I knew that was the result that we look back on and like kick ourselves. And I think now it shows it even more because I just feel like Liverpool weren't that good. And it's clear and it's just annoying. What have you found?
Sorry, Aaron Drinkwater, to be fair, if he's a sick individual for waking up at 5:30 a.m, I think you need to reevaluate yourself. Then I put, do you wake up at 5:30 a.m? That's mad. He put, not mad. That's the life of a working man.
Okay, now.
What do you do for a living, mate?
Yeah, what do you do for a living?
What time do you finish? 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah. Is he the brother of Danny?
No idea. Yeah.
To be honest, mate, these comments are
Yeah, I'm
mid.
just trying to look for some comments.
Get
but
your
it's sort
comments
of ruining
up,
the
lads.
podcast.
Seriously. Like, if you're going to come at us with a comment, at least,
To be
make
honest,
it good.
There aren't any.
There aren't any comments.
Sorry, there's none.
There's
I
no
thought there was
comments. Any comments on Viper Sports stuff?
No comments.
No
He's
comments.
not really got the pull that I expected. I thought he was going to have a bit more pull than he did, but they're actually the worst performing TikToks on the channel. We have got one. We have got one comment here from Red Devil's Corner, who's a nice bloke.
Red Devils, yeah.
I put
Yeah,
that this
he's
is the
good.
best defense. Josh and me have said that this is the best defense we've ever seen. So Red Devil's Corner commented, "This is the best defense I've saw in my life." Obviously, a little young in it. Maldini, Baresi, Maldini, Nesta. One more recent for you, Vidic, Ferdinand. Those are just 3 examples of a better defense partnerships than you have at the moment. So I put,
Right.
I'm only 21.
First of all, yeah, Red Devil's Corner. I was talking about the Prem, and you've listed 2 out of 3 of those aren't in the Prem.
Yep. So
So that's one. Number 2.
Vidic, Ferdinand. There's a debate here if Gabriel and Saliba. Also, as well, we're talking about a defensive unit. Vidic
Yeah,
Ferdinand.
that's what people weren't getting.
Vidic Ferdinand is a centre-back partnership. I agree, it's phenomenal for centre-back partnership, but what of the defensive unit? I'm sorry.
about your back four, mate,
Stop. I'm not having Gary Neville in this. So, Gary Neville alone is just made United's defensive back line not as good as ours.
But also, it's not just that.
He
It's
loves Seal
like,
too much.
even our good defences, after that 4, you obviously have... But our options are so good. That's the thing.
This is so funny. Red Devil's Corner said, let me give you a mind-blowing... Sorry,
No, go on.
Let me give you a mind-blowing stat from Maldini-Baresi partnership. They played almost 200 games together and only conceded 23 goals. I would say this will give you a good understanding of how good they were. Smiley face. Kian commented, that isn't true.
Wow.
We've got to do some
So
fact
Red Devils, we
checking.
need to... We'll get back to you on
do
that.
some fact checking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it is probably, if we win the title this year, I think it is one of the best defences we've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, is it better than Chelsea's defence in 2004, 5?
It's 5.
Well, it was on course for that, but we have just conceded 2. That's what annoyed me the most, is conceding 1 goal against Sunderland, fine. That second one, just because we're trying to beat that record, really pissed me off. Because that's one thing that Viper Sport Forward did say, is that I would rather you not break the record than win the league or whatever. Like, he basically doesn't want us to break that record. And I don't think any Chelsea fan does, because it's all they fucking bang on about is that record. And to get the Invincibles and that defence record would be pretty funny.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Fucking hell.
That's what you get. That was a pullback, a nod,
callback.
a callback. That's it, to the start of the podcast when you just left me to dry.
I don't think that is.
You're holding me
You'd
out
ruin
to dry.
everyone's listening and viewing experience. So, what is that? Everything from today? I know it's a bit.
Well, how long
we've
have we
done
got?
50
Do you wanna do a
minutes.
bit
We've done
longer?
50 minutes. Not
you got
really.
time? No.
Well, I don't. Is there anything else we need to talk about really, or can we just wrap it up?
Well, you talk about how Forest got a good win.
I'm rapidly falling out of love with football.
Yeah. So basically,
Oh, let's discuss that. That's quite funny.
yeah,
actually.
I was just going to address it. So me and Josh argue a lot. Not just on
Can
the
you
podcast.
tell? Yeah.
He came into the living room.
I
and
didn't watch it. So
he didn't
yeah.
watch the game, so this is what rattled me. And he went, and I just finished watching the Leeds Forest game, most of it, and he went, Forest got a good win. And I went, well, it wasn't a good win, was it? I mean, they beat Leeds 2-1. They played
3-1.
shit. Was it 3-1?
Yeah.
Didn't watch it then. Didn't watch it.
Fucking hell. I come into this is what it's like to live under this dictator. He's like Arteta. I come into the living room, I say, Forest got a good win, didn't they?
It's embarrassing.
He goes, not a good win, is it? I was like, how is 3-1 against Leeds not a good win? And he was like, well, they played shit.
They
and
did
I was
play
like,
shit.
that's a good win then.
No, because for me, a good
That's the thing.
good
Okay,
win
this is
is
where the
a
debate
good.
started.
So a good win for me is City against Liverpool, where a good that was a good win, wasn't it? And you go, yeah, that was a great win. Actually, is that a great win? So this is where the debate comes in.
That's a
Maybe
great
it's
win.
right. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think it was a good. I think
Maybe
it
it
classed
was a good
as a
win.
good win.
I don't know why I was so triggered about that.
He was triggered. He was really mad. And because if I came into the living room and I said, Forest got a win,
I know what you mean.
the fuck was I meant to say? I just was trying to say
is a bit-
Forest won.
It was a bit bad. For
Forest
me.
won.
I think the standards are so high with Arteta.
Yeah,
that
I
2-1 for
can't-
me is not a good win.
Yeah.
I think Arteta.
It's 3-1.
He's
It was
ruined my.
3-1.
He's ruined
I'm
my.
sure it was.
I'm sure it was 2-1.
Let me
Google it.
check.
I'm sure it was 2-1. Where did you get the 3-1 from? Unless they scored a last minute seal the deal. I'm sure it was 2-1. Oh, it was. Oh, that's why they scored 90 plus 1. I didn't see that.
But what I meant was as well
Didn't
is
see it.
because unfortunately as well, Forest in the context
Yeah,
as well.
I
Forest
know
were in a
what you mean.
relegation battle, and
Yeah.
also it's
and
Leeds,
it's against
and they
Leeds,
hate
and
Leeds.
it's a 6-pointer. Yeah, look, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
So it was
I think
a good
I was
win.
still fuming.
It
about the
wasn't.
Sunderland
Was it
result.
a great win then? No.
No, so I think you're right. You can't come in. You can't say, "Oh, Forest got a win." You probably could have said that. To be fair,
What would you have said? Yeah.
I know what you mean. Usually, someone says good win for Forest, but I don't know if it was good. I still don't know if it was good. That's the thing.
What is a good win?
It's
Tell me your ideal. You've
clean sheet. A clean sheet for me is a good win.
Mm.
A great win is like 3-0, isn't it?
That's a great win.
That's a great win.
That is a great. Yeah, but it's all contextual. That's my point, because if you beat Real Madrid 2-0, that's different. That's a great win. But if you beat Bournemouth 2-0, you'd be like, that's a good win. So I think it really matters about the context.
I think the context
That
for
is a
me was when you
great
said it
win.
was a good win. The reason why it triggered me is because it was Leeds.
You know what though?
And
The
they've been-
difference
they played
is
shit.
that's a great. Where I think where I think I actually agree with you, because I should have said that's a great result.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a difference.
that's it.
Yeah, there's a difference.
It wasn't. I know what you mean. It wasn't a great win.
Yeah, it was a
but
great
it was a great
result.
result.
If you came to the living room and said that's a good result, I would have said, yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good result. But you said it was a good win,
win
and I was like, well, was it?
wasn't.
Because it was a shit win, but it was a good result.
Yeah, well, I think
And I
we
think
actually,
you have to get your terminology right in
at the highest level.
conversations at this level. It bugs me when our mate comes into the pub and he says something like this, and I have to keep it stump when I'm in the
But
pub.
you don't
I
have to with
can't
me, yeah.
bring it up and say,
It's
if my mate
not.
comes into the pub, if Chris Morel,
Yeah.
who by the way is not a Forest fan, so that winds
Right,
me
so
for
if he-
more.
right,
if
hold
he
on.
comes into the pub,
I thought he was a Chelsea fan.
yeah, exactly.
And he says
Pisses me off.
Wolves,
If he
right.
comes in, if he comes into the pub, if he speaks to me this week or on Friday, and he says, and we sat in the pub, and he says, that was a good win, wasn't it, last weekend for Forest? I can't then lean over the table and say, what the fuck are you on about? How is that a good win? It's a good result, but it's not a good win because
Yeah.
it's just not. It's not really etiquette. You just have to swallow it. But if you say it, especially when I'm in the living room trying to chill out, and you say something like that, it's triggering.
He was really triggered about that. So I kind of get it was a good result for Forest though. Let's go back to
Let's be honest.
Where does
that was a good draw for a great draw for Sunderland.
Yeah.
It was a bad result.
Was it a great result?
It was a good result, but it wasn't a great result.
Yeah. So it was a good
For us,
result.
A good no,
but
it was
a great draw.
great performance, a great win. Sorry, it's not
A
even
great
win.
draw, but
it's
a
a
good
great
result.
draw, but a good result. Arsenal's was a bad result, but a
Good draw. It
a
was
good draw. It was a good draw, but a bad
bad
result.
result.
This is what I mean.
I think
and
it maybe
there's a
was.
difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Difference.
That was a bad result.
But I'm glad
that was a
we've
bad
cleared that
result
up.
for Arsenal. Yeah, but it was. But then you could reply, and you could imagine this. Theo Walcott could say, "Well, it was a good draw."
Yeah, so it's like, Roy could be like, bad result for Arsenal. Oh no, that guy.
Bad
What's
result.
the
bad result for Arsenal?
And then
No,
you say,
that's not
yeah,
it.
but it was
baby.
it was a good draw. And then that would piss you off though, wouldn't it? But you
That's
can't
what
really,
that's
it
what
was a good
Sturridge would
draw.
say.
Yeah.
But was it a good? Yeah, I don't know what his accent is. Was it a good draw? And then you start singing like. We did this before. We've spoken about some stories
Like
before.
for Man City, for example, great win and great result.
Yeah,
Just great all round.
yeah. That is a
And
great
there's not,
win.
by
and
the
a
way,
great result.
how often does that happen? Not very often. Not very often.
Yeah.
So
What's been right here? Let's end the podcast with what's been our greatest win and what's been our greatest result so far this season.
see, you can't say everyone's going to go this season. I talk about overall last season, but everyone's what springs to mind is Real Madrid 3-0 at the Emirates. The reason why is because it wasn't. It was a great result, but it wasn't like a result that actually it might be that because it got us to a semi. It got us to a final of a semi-final of a Champions League.
That was, I was going to say that was a great result and a great win. I think this season, the great result and great win was at Newcastle.
Yeah.
That was a
the biggest one.
great result.
That was a great result and a great win.
Because we had a great win against Leeds, but it wasn't a great result. Well, it was a great result because we won 5-0. But was it a great win?
Like that
was a good
piss,
win.
that would piss me off if someone said
What a result.
After
What if
the
someone said, if I came into the living room and I said, what a result that is for Forest? Would you be happy with
that
that?
pissed me off.
Why?
Because it wasn't what a result.
It
It
was.
was that's a good result.
No. What a result.
No,
As in,
no, there's
like,
a difference.
That, how have they done that? That implies to me,
No.
what a result
no,
that
no,
is.
That's a different thing. What a result would be Sunderland against what a result would be
if
Sunderland
nicked
beat
it
Arsenal.
3-2.
That's a what a
result.
result. You can't say that about Forest beating Leeds. That would piss me off.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually United and Liverpool. What a result that is for United.
Exactly. That's what a result.
That is like... No,
Yeah.
and that was a great win as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
All
you
right,
have
well, we
to
cleared that
just
up.
be careful. What I'm saying to people is it's a word of caution when we end the podcast is just be careful the language you use when talking to your mates and your family about football, because it can be triggering when someone says the wrong thing, and you need to get it right.
Don't get it wrong, because people will think you're an idiot as well.
Yeah, and they'll think you are.
Baby.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's good to clear that up.
I hope you've enjoyed the podcast, everyone. Everything's been back to normal, and it probably should be for the next few weeks. In the roll up to Christmas, and we have more podcasts, and more games, and even more podcasts. So I hope you're looking forward to the Christmas period. It's going to be pretty funny.
We're not going to stop. It won't stop us.
It won't stop, and we'll do it on Christmas Eve if we have to. It won't stop. So just get prepared. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Been a fun
alright.
episode. Good weekend of Premier League action.
Agreed.
And we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. See you in a bit. Boom.
Just start that again. Yeah, see you, everyone. I just wanted the whole thing to play out.
Nice. And now take these off again.
Looks nice. I'll take this off again and play it again.